Good day guys, how you doing? Thank you for coming back to the channel. Today we'll be looking at series parallel resistors. In our previous videos we've talked about series resistor, we've talked about parallel resistors. Today we'll be looking at combination of series and parallel. Now when talking about series and parallel connections, you have to be careful with the calculations. Now we're going to take off these previous resistors. If you look closely, this is my breadboard which I'll be using. If I make a parallel connection initially, that means that if I put the resistor here, I can come here and put the resistor here. Now when I insert a resistor here, I've inserted one, I can insert another resistor. Please, when inserting resistors, you have to be careful where exactly you are putting those resistors. If you look closely, you see that they are actually on the same points. You can see they are on the same vertical column. Now, these two resistors are in parallel, which makes it very easy. So the next thing I'll do, I've made a parallel connection. So I want to put two resistors in series to these parallel resistors. Look closely. I'll come here and insert in between one terminal of those two parallel resistors. Can you see this? See where I inserted this? I made the insertion around here, so it's in between, which is easier. I have this, so I'm going to do the same thing on the other terminals of the resistor. Looking at this, I'll come here, I'll insert again in between. So if I insert this in between, it doesn't matter where I put the other leg. What matters is this resistor terminal is correctly aligned with the resistors in parallel. Can you see this? So take a closer look. I've made the successful connection. So these two resistors are in parallel to themselves. These two resistors are in parallel to themselves. These two resistors which are in parallel to themselves are in series with this resistor, third resistor here. So there is another serial connection to these three resistors. Can you see? There's another serial connection to these three resistors, which makes it very easy. So the next thing I'll do is I'll use my cables. I'll connect to the extreme terminal of this. I'll also come here and connect to the extreme terminal of this. But before we even take our measurements, let us see what we have done again. What we have done again, guys. Initially, we had two resistors in parallel, which is this. This can be R1, R2, R3, R4. So let's say R2 and R4, no, let's say R2 and R3 were in parallel to themselves. Then this resistor was serially connected to these two parallel resistors, and this was also connected. Now, like I said in my previous class, that when resistors are in parallel, you use the formula 1 over R1 plus equals 1 over R2 plus 1 over R3, or you just say 1 over R total equals 1 over R1 plus 1 over R2. Now, that's simply the reciprocal of the resistors. But since there are serial connections here, whatever value you get, you add it to this resistor directly because it's in series with this. So you also add to this since it's in series to this. Let's take values. Now, here's my multimeter. This is my multimeter. So when I turn on, I always like to use 20K because sometimes these resistor values could be very large. So we are going to see how this works. So the first thing I'll do is, most times I always advise that when you are making connections, it's good to confirm the values. If the resistors you are using, they are okay. So I can make the confirmation of my values here. Can you see? Can you see? I'm on 20K. So my values could be very large here. So this is 0.331 kilo ohm. Confirming this value. This is 0.25 or 0.24. Can you see, guys? This is another 0. Let's confirm this again. This is 0.24. This is another value entirely. This 4.2, sorry, this is fluctuating. Let's put it properly. 4.73 kilo ohm. Now let's see a total value of this. If I take this cable, from one terminal of the resistors, I put this here, another cable from another terminal, and I take this measurement. Guys, what do you notice? This is 5.31 kilo ohm. This is 5.31 kilo ohm. So this value you are seeing, guys, is the value, the sum of this. Then looking at these two resistors, whatever I get as the equivalent resistor, then this, I repeat, this, whatever I get from here, and this. So that gave that 5.32 kilo ohms. Thank you very much. I want to really appreciate my subscribers and viewers. Please, if you're yet to subscribe, please do so that you get more of this. We'll be sharing components on this channel and how it works. Thanks so much. Bye. See you in my next class.